Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has already sold 1 million copies. Michael, it's been one day. Holy,
oh my gosh.
dude, huge numbers. Congrats to the team. Michael Harridan's over at PSU. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has only been out for one day, but the medieval RPG has already notched up 1 million sales worldwide. Deep Silver and Warhorse Studios have announced. The sequel to 2018's Kingdom Come Deliverance arrived just yesterday on PS5, PC, and the Xbox Series X and S. It sees players following protagonist Henry amidst civil war in Bohemia during the 15th century, setting out on a journey from humble beginnings as a blacksmith forged to the court of a king. Henry's destiny is shaped by your decisions and is fully customizable in regards to appearance, equipment, and skills. Along the way, Henry will brush shoulders with a range of unforgettable characters as his story of revenge unfolds with more than 5 hours of cinematics, with this journey eventually bringing him up against, well, the Red Fox, the King of Hungary. The game world has been meticulously crafted to offer an authentic medieval experience as you explore sprawling cities, rich countrysides, taverns, bathhouses, massive castles, and more. Michael, as I said at the top of the show, dude jumped in yesterday real quick. Already blown away. Like, I was just like, wow. They got some serious stuff going on. In and out of cutscenes pretty seamlessly. And then to start my first conversation and screw that up. Whoops. My bad. So, yeah, there's a lot to craft my story. There's a lot to get into. It pays attention to how you even put on your armor, right? So when you get in there, dude, it pops up your menus and you're just, I'm like, holy, what is happening right now? Okay, well, you need to put on your undergarments first and then to put on top of that, then your helmet, because that is a soft padding. So when you get hit, the armor there is to protect the blunt, but the actual impact of it will be dampened by the undergarments. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, so there's all like this ordered together to put stuff on. And then, yeah, I'm like super early, maybe 20 minutes. Because I got a couple other things I got to wrap up before I get into it. But at the same time, I can see where the appeal is. You and I have been watching this closely for a while now. And every time they come up with some more news, I'm like, yo, man, this looks really cool. Will it hit? Obviously, Michael, it hit pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll start by saying I'm just happy that we got a big game that actually worked on the Xbox Series S. Felt like last year we had quite a few of these games that were supposed to be big, and the S and every other Xbox fan was like, yeah, where's our game? So shout out to Deep Silver and Warhorse Studio for making that one work. But no, this game looks amazing, right? I can't wait to hop in here in the coming days as well. And it just shows you how hungry we are for a good RPG, right? I hadn't even heard of the first one until you and I started talking about the second one, and I think that one had more of that like niche cult following. And now the second one, 1 million copies day one, shows you just how hungry I think a lot of people are for a really deep, in-depth RPG, because it just feels like we haven't had an RPG that has hit in the last few years for everybody, right? There's been a couple like Dragon Age the Veilguard that some people have liked, some people haven't, but this one has just kind of clicked for everybody. I'm excited to see what they have in store, right? I already got 3 expansions on the way, a new free content update that they promised us in the spring. This game is going to go massive. I'm honestly kind of sad, Drew, that GTA 6 is going to take all of the hype by the end of the year, right? Because by the time we get to Game Awards, I think this game in any other year could pull an Astrobot and could have gone absolutely crazy. Yeah. I think, unfortunately, it's going to get swallowed up, but man, this just tells you how RPG hungry video game players really are, Drew.
Yeah, if you're looking to really sink your teeth into something and get your money's worth, we'll call it, right? Like, so for us here over in Canada, the gold edition is like $110, where the standard edition is something around like 80. So it depends on what you want. But if you get the gold edition, then you get all the DLC that's coming with it, right? So it's kind of all packed up, ready to go for you. And just as it drops, you get into it. There is so much content here already from what I'm gathering, right? From what we've been watching, following along, and the starvation, I think, of something, I think, more unique that isn't so mystical, right? It is grounded. There are no wizardry things to go on here, right? They have rooted themselves in the realistic setting. Dude, the characters are on point. The authentic accents seem to really hit. already on a horse traveling through, and like, man, you get in the wilderness, you're like, wow, like I'm waiting for the god rays just to like, whew, and then the heavens open up, kind of thing, right? Like it is. You get to this one point too, and like it introduces you to this castle and this whole fight scene and stuff. You're learning early on, and the way they set it up seems pretty cool. But again, I'm so early; it's just like it's hard to really talk on. But I'm just happy to see that something that isn't the usual hit so hard, I guess I would say, right? Like that's, you expect a Spider-Man to hit hard, a God of War, right? Halo technically should hit hard. It is one of those, okay, here comes Warhorse. Excuse me, it is their second time round. So there is that to kind of weigh in on. Hopefully they've learned a lot from the first one to then take over and expand upon. And a lot of people have said, hey, they have learned this. We got into a little bit of a deeper conversation on the combat, right? How did they ease that up? We had a good comment yesterday, actually, on our YouTube channel about how they didn't, but they did fix it. And he went into some details there. I thought, well, that's cool, because they didn't slow it down. They just did a couple other things here or there to kind of make it adjusted. So I thought it was cool to get into. I'm very, very curious to see if we're already at 1 million sales now, Michael, day one. How much further do you think they'll go by the end of the year?
I think they could easily, I mean, 2-3 million, right? The problem is it was just such a busy year, right? Because as you talked about, Avowed's coming out here in a couple weeks, and we kind of had these two games going head to head in sort of that RPG market. So how many people are waiting for Avowed? How many people are going to say, all right, look, have my fun in Kingdom Come Deliverance, I want to hop on Avowed. Then we've got Monster Hunter at the end of this month, Assassin's Creed, then again to South of Midnight, Doom, every single way. We don't have a release date for Mafia or Borderlands, right? And the problem is every single month there's a big game coming, and I'm curious to see how long people stick around. But yeah, I want to say, saw the Steam numbers yesterday. When I looked, it peaked at over 160,000 players online. It was like number 5 on the Steam charts. So this game is freaking amazing. As you said, if you want to get your money's worth out of something, I think you check this out. This feels like one of those games in a couple months we're going to be like, player has 500 hours and still hasn't found everything in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because there's just so many different things you can do. This is the first big game in 2025, and I'm glad it hit. Also true, we haven't had to talk about a day one patch. How long has it been since a AAA game has not had a day one patch? Hey, it's super buggy. Man, what an absolute win for Warhorse.
Absolutely. It's nice to see them, dude. I never even thought of the day one patch. I'm just so accustomed to them happening. Hey, we got to fix this, and this. We already know this is problems here, there, and whatever, right? So expect that day one patch, and it's like 30, 40, 50 gigs to download. It's like, well, why wasn't it finished? Here, it's finished. Dude, it's just finished. It's like the old days. You got your game cartridge, and boom, it was done. I'm like, oh, man, I just downloaded my game, away I went, and yeah, from early on, man, I can't wait to get back into this game.